Welcome to Code Talks. So today we are going to be starting our first series, How to Code in Java. And today we're just going to be getting feel for the IDE and just output some simple stuff, just getting around Java, just starting off simple, nice and easy. All right, so first, stuff to notice. Public class, what does that mean? So public means it can be accessed by anything. That's important later when we're focusing on creating, more complex applications. Then we have our class, which is literally one of the most important things. Sorry, because it is the environment of storing objects. Sorry, the environment for creating objects and storing, obviously. And that'll be important to us when we're creating more variables and things like that. So that's pretty as simple as that, this section right here. Main just means the name of the class, which is obviously, well, not really obviously, but it is also the name of your file, otherwise Java won't compile. And then you have your two brace brackets, which you have opened. Then you have this section, public static void main. What does that mean? You have your public, which we've just covered, obviously. Sorry, I have a tendency to say that. Static void main. Static means it's storing a special spot in the not directory, but storing a special spot in the memory of your computer when the application is run. Void means it has no return value. That'll be more meaningful to us when we're going into more complex content of Java, if you will. Main is the name, and string args is not really important to us right now. So just ignore that. Just make sure you have that though. So this is called our main method because when you click run, this is what runs. So let's get started with actually writing some code. So first, you want to document your code. What that means is just having good documentation so your readers and whoever is reading your program knows who it's by, the description, and things like that. So it's by Code Talks. Description, tutorial. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And what I've done here, my first two characters, if you remember when I typed them, they were this. Well, 4. So that is the start. This is the start of a multi-line comment, and this is the end. They're kind of like brace brackets, just comments. So that's where it ends, and that's where it starts. And this whole section, when I run the code, when I run this application, Java will just skip over it, knowing it's a comment. Next, there's the single line comment, which is used to describe, blocks of code usually, and they just stay on a single line. As you can see, this carried for a multi-line. So you could just write output hello world, and yeah. So how we output things in Java is system dot out dot print ln or print. So I'll tell you the difference in a second. So print would mean if I printed out hello world. So how would I print out hello world in the first place before we look at the difference between out.print and println? You need something called a string literal. Strings are all over the place in Java, and they're a combination and sequence of characters, more importantly. So we start a string by using double quotes and writing hello world. Right? So we have that. That'll print out hello world. I'll run it right now. Here's where you run if you're using the same ID as me, and IntelliJ. And yeah, hello world. Hello world has been printed out right there. So this is print. What this has done is it has printed out hello world and the cursor would be here. It stays there. So they write hello world, right? Java outputs that and the cursor stays there. But if I add a println, what will happen is this. I'll run again. By the way, Shift F10 for those of you who don't know, ran again. What this does is it goes hello world. The cursor was here for print, but it moves to here for println. So if I add another, println system.out.println and write welcome to code. Sorry, I'm getting used to this new keyboard. Code talks. What'll happen is Shift F10, they'll be on two separate lines. But if I remove the ln and run it, you can see it is all in one line because it wrote hello world and the cursor stayed on the same line. So when it wrote welcome to code talks, then it moved to the next line. And since that doesn't make sense, you obviously need a space there, so you just put a space here, run again, and you would have your first output for your first Java application. It's really simple. It's kind of boring, not gonna lie. So why don't we introduce how to just put your variables instead of in a string literal, your words in a string literal. Let's actually create a variable to hold it. So we'll put string. So how creating variables works is, so I'll create my variables. How variables work is you declare the type, then its name, so I'm gonna make mine S1, and then strings, you need to put double quotes, right? Because you're holding a string literal inside of a string, right? It has to know that I'm putting a string inside of it, not a number, right? Because this doesn't make sense into Java. So I'd write, hello world. And instead of putting that in here, I could take away the quote since it's not a string literal anymore. It's in a variable S1. So I put it inside S1. And if I ran it, but I'm not gonna, because I want to put this also in a variable. And you guessed it, the variable name will be S2. Equals this, semicolon. So I can do S2 and here I will click run. Okay, welcome to Code Talks. Remember that first logic error we had? By the way, a logic error is your code compiles, you wrote it correctly, just the output is not, what you expected. You know how there should be a space here? How do we add a space? In Java, you can add a space by using a plus, open a string literal, and that's it. And in the open string literal, we add a space. So what will happen is I'm saying print out S1, then add a space to S1, right? Another way we could do, I'll run this, but while it's happening, another way you could do it is you could add a space right here in the first place. So you can see welcome to Code Talks. So I'll just remove this, and when I run, that works too. So it's your either or, and using that plus is really helpful. You could write hello as well. Hello and add that space. We want that space again. I'll just write test since we already wrote it. Test, run. Hello world. Test. See, it's not even in a variable. I've just added it, as we can see here. And now now through this video, you know how to write a multi-line comment, how to write a single line comment. You know what a class means, an environment for storing, environment for creating objects. You know what a main method is. It's what happens when you click run, and you know how to create string variables now. And you also know the difference between print and println, and you know how to add additional sequences of characters, additional string literals to your output, and you know what a string literal is. It's just literally a string, so a word or a set of numbers. And before I say goodbye to you guys, I just want you to know, just in case you didn't realize, you could add numbers in strings as well. Just they don't work as normal numbers, but we'll be covering that in our next video. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video, and thank you very much.